Hey guys, welcome to the Off the Field podcast. I'm your host Jay, and today we got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously the preseason is upon us. Man, oh man, I gotta talk about this. This right here is something I had to talk about because I've been getting some questions about it on my live stream and stuff like that. Make sure you follow me on Twitch and the TikTok so you guys can check those out. But the Patriots and the Colts preseason game one, it ends in a tie. There was a couple missed field goals, and obviously the most important one was, the one that could have won the game. Now, I want to say this. This is the preseason, right? So I didn't really care if we won or lost, to be honest with you. I just wanted to see, you know, good things out there. And I did. I also saw some bad things, which I'm going to get into in a little bit later. But we're going to talk about the good right now. The good things that I did see from the Patriots that I love dearly was the quarterback play. Now, Drake May, none of the starters, I'm pretty sure, yeah, none of the starters played for the Patriots. And I'm pretty sure none of the starters played for the Colts, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think, maybe a couple, maybe, I don't know, maybe on defense or so. But the main ones did not play, right? I like how they were moving the ball. The quarterback was not forcing it, and that's one thing. If you've watched Tom Brady growing up, which most of us have, he was not the greatest downfield thrower. Okay, not even close, right? Now he can throw the ball downfield if you give him the opportunity, but he was get it to his running back or get it to Elderman, little 4 yard passes, and then allow them to do the rest of the work. And some people at the time did not like that, and they felt like that's why Tom Brady. A lot of people used to say, "This is why Tom is not the GOAT, because all you do is this check down. He's a check down Charlie. He's this and that." But in reality, he was just playing chess. While everybody else was playing other games, he was literally picking y'all off one by one. Those little plays, guess what? Now the defense get tight. Now they coming up. Now they're expecting the little throw. Guess what? You hit them right behind them. Bam, there's a touchdown. You know? And one thing last year with Drake made in the playoffs, we saw it here and there during the regular season. But in the playoffs, I felt like he tried to live up to what he did in the regular season. And that happens for a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, Lamar, Josh Allen, just to name those two. I mean, they're MVP, right? So postseason, you expecting them to not only be as good as they were in the regular season, but even better. That's what separates the really, really good quarterbacks to the GOATs quarterbacks, because they elevate their game in the postseason. Hell, Joe Flacco, regular season Joe Flacco, playoff Joe Flacco was two separate different people. Okay, I'm pretty sure they changed his body or something. Something happened. That was not Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco in the playoffs is one of the greatest playoffs quarterback ever. Regular season Joe is decent. He's good enough. When you had that defense, the Baltimore defense, I mean, you didn't. A lot of quarterbacks could have did enough, right? But he did. He did. Carry his weight. Same thing with like Drake May and them. Drake May finished second MVP race. Now, obviously, my personal opinion, I felt like he should have won it. But Matthew Stafford, I mean, he did his thing as well. So, like I said, congratulations to him. But I felt like Drake May was trying to live up to that, and he couldn't. And it also didn't help that his offensive line was so young, and they didn't have that experience. But back to the preseason game. So I like that the quarterbacks that they had out there for the Patriots were, well, first and foremost, what's his name? He played, bro. He had a resurgence with the Giants. Not resurgence, but I mean they used to chant his name and all that. Dan, is it Danny? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. It was that game, that the game happened what, last week. So a lot of things happened for your boy. But anyway, so he was putting it on the money, right? Now, the things that I want to, like, not even nitpick but talk about with the defensive side of the ball. I saw some good things with the defense as well. I mean, hell, we got some turnovers, got some interceptions. But the running game, there were too many guys, and I understand this is probably their last chance of playing football. So the excitement is there. It's rookies. It's their first taste of the NFL. You're excited. But I felt like there was too many of either not fitting your gaps or over pursuing. And we saw this last year in the Super Bowl where guys are in the gap. It's right play call. It's perfect play call to stop this run. This run should not be getting a first down and 15 plus yards after that. This should be maybe at bare minimum 2 yard gain. And you're right there, but you're overplaying your gap. Or you're allowing the offensive lineman to take you out or the tight end to take you out. And when you're supposed to be setting the edge, you got to get the outside shoulder. Whichever side you are, that outside shoulder got to be right there. Got to be here. Got to be. But instead, I saw a lot of, they trying to cut in. Next thing you know, if you try to cut in on and you the outside guy, guess what? The running back not going inside unless you got help. And hell, sometimes they had help, but they overplayed it, and so they like, okay, well, he's going in. The running back got to go in, right? And they not even there. Are you outside runs? That's what last year killed us, especially in the Super Bowl. Them outside runs. You saw when Seattle ran up the middle, they didn't get that many yards. But that Walker going outside, I mean, my goodness, it was breaking the camel back. And then it got to a point where our offense wasn't doing anything. And so the defense just kind of was like, it kind of gave up. When one side of the ball is not holding its weight, it's very hard for the other side to continue to stop a team, because it's going to be a couple plays or that one drive that pretty much is going to break it open. With the preseason, I felt like there were some times where, maybe the offense wasn't moving the ball well, or sometimes when the defense just could not stop the run, you know? But I'm not too upset about the whole thing because, and like I told this Saints fan, which I'm about to talk about in a minute, last night, it is the preseason. You see the good and the bad. You see, the rookie players, you see new players that you're getting used to. So I enjoy watching the preseason games because I get to see, new faces and maybe players I might not ever see again. So it is a cool to see, but I don't take too much into it. I did get, a couple of people in my comments like, how you feel about that tie? And it's like, ain't the regular season, you know? And then the tie, I was obviously at the time I was like, oh no, come on, you got to make this kick. But at the end of the day, it's the preseason. It doesn't count, Now, I want to talk about this, and I'm not going to go too much detail because me and this person had a back and forth, and I'm not sure where their head is at. I know that they're going through some personal stuff, which is something I will, obviously never talk about. But Saints fan came into my stream, right? Now, he has been supporting me for a while with likes and stuff like that. He was a mod in my TikTok stream and stuff like that. So, and up until this point, we had a really good, like, I I wouldn't call it friendship, but you know, he supported me, and by the way I am, I supported him as well. I gave him some likes on a couple of his videos, and not only that, posting content. That's my way of giving back to you guys, is posting as much content and as best quality as I can. That's the goal I want to do, and make people happy as well. So anyway, so I'm gonna get into it a little bit. So I was asking people, I was like, what the games would you like for me to react to? Because I had reacted to maybe 2 games up to that point, during the live stream last night. And he was like, the Saints game. Now, last year I did not react to a Saints game, because they was trash, right? Um but I was like, you know what? I bet. Let me check out the Saints. Let's see. Because I've now some other Saints fans have told me, like, I need to watch out for this guy, this guy, this guy, right? So I'm like, okay, let's check it out, right? Checked out the game. Excuse me. Before I even checked out the game, he said that the refs cheated, right? The refs help I forgot who they faced, helped them win, whatever. And he was going so hard about this, and I had to be like, ain't this the preseason? Like, you could say something about, oh, the ref made this call, but the way he was talking about like they had, like it was the NFC Championship game, like from years and years ago. Obviously everybody know about that call, well, the call that didn't happen. I'm thinking he talking about something like that. And I'm like, but this is the preseason, brother. Like, why are you going so hard? And he kept on, we had a little back and forth. Not even like a little back and forth, but like he kept on telling me, like, oh, this happened, this happened. Then he was like, watch out for the last play. So as I'm reacting to the video, well, to the highlights, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind. Watch out for the last play. Cause something must have something controversial happened in this last play of the preseason, of their preseason game for week 1. So I'm watching it. So now it's about to be a last play. It's their hurry up offense. They're trying to, it's first, what was it, first and goal, maybe second and goal at the time. Can't remember off the top of my head. But it was a back shoulder pass, right? The receiver, bigger receiver against a smaller corner. And from what he was telling me, oh, there should have been a call. I didn't see anything. I replayed it back, and when I replayed it back, I even found that the offensive player was holding the back of the defensive player. I explained that. I showed proof. He then said, well, he held him in the air. So I'm like, okay, let's see. Even if he did, the first flag would have already hit. So let's say he did hold him in the air as well. Well, those 2 flags neglect each other. Neglect each other. So it would just be a replay of the play. Or yeah, they had time left. I think they had time left at time. So it would just be a replay of the play. I checked it out. There was no hold. Not only that, the ball was out of bounds. It was not a catchable ball. And you can also tell because the receiver did not look to the ref or nothing like that. He was like, he had the head down like, damn, we lost. If you think you got held, especially last play of the game, we always see this. Going up to the ref, he helped me, man. The crowd reacts. Nobody there reacted in that way. Nobody. None of his teammates was going to the ref like, you ain't see that? Nobody reacted that way. The only person that reacted that way, from what I saw, was Saints fans. And some of them. I'm not going to say all of them, some Saints fans. And now I'm like, okay, let me, hold on. This is preseason we talking about. We talking about flags and stuff in the preseason, bro. Are we serious right now? This is how bad your team is that you got to talk about the refs cheated you guys in a preseason fucking game. Come on now. And we had a long back and forth and stuff like that. It did, he did call me out my name. He felt disrespected because he has a family member that plays for the team now, and he felt like by me calling them trash and reading off their schedule last year of who they beat, who they lost to, he felt like that was disrespectful. In my opinion, that's not disrespectful, because for one, you don't own the team, and for two, he even told me this, his family member had just got to the team. He used to, the Jaguars, who they played, by the way, he used to play for the Jaguars. So he just now on this team. So when I said the team sucks, and I read off from last year their regular season schedule and only winning 6 games, that has nothing to do with his family, and you're not the owner of the New Orleans Saints. And he gave me this whole spiel about, oh, all the hard work they put in, this and that. It's not discounting any of that. I'm not discounting none of that. What I showed him and showed everybody was, you guys went 6-11. You won one more game than the Browns, who were last in their division. You guys was last in your division. Then, and before that, he made a claim that was one of the craziest claims I've ever seen. He said the New Orleans Saints are better than most teams combined. Just flat out lying, you know? And I told him that's why we had this little debate. Here's the thing. And I've noticed this, and at least in my chats and stuff, the bad teams, their fan base will convince themselves that it's everybody else's fault but the team. And they will bring other teams down, other good teams down, to try to hype up their bad team. If you're a bad team, you're a bad team. And that's why some teams don't get respect, because their fan bases. One thing I've learned since doing this is that how toxic the NFL fan base is with certain teams. And you wonder why you guys don't get, the praise and stuff when you guys do have a win, a good season and stuff like that, because your fan base are jerks. They are on everybody else's tail about, oh, if they lose a game, even though if they went to the Super Bowl, they lost the Super Bowl. Okay, cool. What, your team hasn't won division, hasn't been to the playoffs, and hasn't been to a Super Bowl in the last, I give you 5 years. So what are we talking about? You talking about teams that was in the playoffs, won their division. Won their division in the playoffs, been to the AFC or NFC championship game, been to the Super Bowl. You're talking about them teams, but yet your team has only won 6 games, which a lot of those teams won 6 games in their first couple of weeks. Not even first couple, let's say their first 2 weeks they won 6 games. You guys won 6 games over the whole entire year. It took you guys that long to win 6 games. And I gave them praise, by the way. So I don't want you guys thinking, oh, I was all over the Saints and stuff, because I'm reading the schedule. Beat the Panthers twice. They won the division. Congratulations. In his eyes, though, he didn't see it that way. He saw it as me going crazy and stuff, and it wasn't like that at all. Drew Brees was one of my favorite quarterbacks watching. Okay, he was one of my favorites. Him and Tom were like right here in my heart. Okay, so it's just crazy. It was a crazy thing it was a crazy back and forth, and like I said, he then told me that he's going through some stuff, and I just try to give him a little pep talk. Don't call people out of their names. I understand that you know the Saints is your team, but you don't have to be disrespectful. And that's one reason why I don't debate people. Like, I don't like debating people when it comes to sports, because I feel like some people, they take it too far. It goes outside of sports. Now it goes to disrespecting you or calling you out your name. And I'm just not here for that. We can have a debate about a team and whatever sport it is that we both watch and we both love to see. But we ain't got to be disrespectful to each other. Like, we don't have to do that. And they're not your team. I know we say, "Oh, my team, da da da," but in reality, we don't own the team. Hell, we haven't. Chat. A lot of us never been to a game, never met any of the players. So I don't get the whole thing about, oh, but you don't know what they go through, this and that. You don't know what they go through. And I told him this, even though your family member plays on that team, you're not in that locker room. I can tell you this. I went on the bus on Tuesday. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say I went on the bus on Tuesday and a fight happened. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you, ooh, I don't know about that. Hey, that bus right there, bro, is crazy. You can be on that bus the next day, that Wednesday, and nothing happens. You see what I'm saying? I can tell you about something, but until you actually live that experience, or until you actually been in that scenario, you don't know. You only know what people have told you. You don't know what actually goes on behind closed doors. So stop assuming you do. Stop going hard for people that don't even know you exist. That's one thing about the internet, is that certain, like, if you love an artist or you love whatever, you don't gotta defend them like your life depends on it. You don't have to do that. Your life shouldn't revolve around somebody that don't know you exist. Hell, it shouldn't revolve around anybody except for who you are. But you shouldn't be going this crazy and being disrespectful to other people because they have different opinions. If I say your team sucks and then I give you proof that your team sucks, take it on the chin. That's the response you're supposed to have. A couple years ago, a lot of people said Patriots suck. Hell yeah, I was right with them. I couldn't watch a game. Hell, I used to say in my reaction videos all the time, you know, it got to a point where I stopped reacting to Patriots games during the season. That's how bad they were. And when some people will come into my comments or whatever and talk about it, yeah, we suck. We is terrible. We is the doormats. We were the ones where you check the schedule out and you like, we facing the Patriots. Oh, that's a guaranteed win. A couple years ago, we went 2 years in recent time of being the doormat of the AFC East and the AFC overall in general. We was the doormat. There was no hope for us. It looked like it was gonna be a long road to rebuild. Lost Bill Belichick. Obviously, before that, lost Tom Brady. So it looked like it was gonna be a long road ahead. Fortunately for us, new coaching staff. Drake May coming into his own. A lot of great things happened. Went to the Super Bowl, something that nobody expected. But then once you reach the Super Bowl, then the narrative is, oh, you guys had a cupcake schedule. Oh, da da da. When no team makes your schedule, it just so happened that we suck so much that they gave us an easier schedule. What, are we not supposed to win? If your team had that same schedule and you guys are winning, you guys will not even bring up, oh, but we had a cupcake schedule. No. You just bring up, went to the Super Bowl. We got our ass whooped in the Super Bowl, but we went to the Super Bowl though. A lot of teams, there's teams out there in the NFL that can't say that. That can't say they've ever been to a Super Bowl in their history. And these are the fan bases that talk the most shit, by the way. So it's crazy. Um, and the rest of the preseason, I haven't really checked out a lot of the preseason games because so many that's going on. But the ones I have been seeing, like we had crazy one hand catches and stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie, this preseason is probably one of the most exciting preseasons I've ever witnessed. It's also the most, I've never seen so many people talk about the preseason like it's the regular season. So it's definitely crazy. It's definitely cool to see. Football is back, so everybody's excited for that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Message of the day is don't take the preseason serious. It's the fucking preseason, okay? It doesn't count for any damn thing. You guys, your team can go undefeated, have all these crazy stats. Guess what? When the regular season start, 0-0. Don't nobody give a damn. Ain't nobody bringing up what the hell you did in the preseason. Oh, you threw 7 touchdown passes in the preseason? Wow, cool. Congratulations. Okay, what are you going to do for me in the regular season? Where it counts. So that's what I want to leave you guys on today. I appreciate you guys for watching this episode of the podcast. You guys continued support is the reason why I keep on doing this podcast. If you guys will want to see a host, not even a host, a guest on the podcast, or you would like to be a guest on the podcast, all you gotta do is reach out to me on Instagram. Yeah, that's probably the best way. Reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram will be linking down in the description down below. I might put it up here as well, but it will be in down description down below. Or you can reach out to me on TikTok through the comment section, but I will say it's probably easier to reach me by my DM on Instagram. But I appreciate you guys for watching this episode and the continued support, and I will see you guys in the next one.